I know I'm not the only one that thinks this way from time to time, but I used to think that training was something that I had to do, right? Something to just freaking mark off the checklist, got that done. And it got even worse once I started my business, to be honest, because, for me, I wanted to spend all my time growing the business, doing the business things, learning, helping clients, and so it honestly fell by the wayside. And so it became more of a checklist thing, right? It was also important to me that I looked the part since I work with lifters. Like, I wanted to look like I freaking lift. So, all those things, it made me lose sight of how important training was for me. But one mindset shift changed everything. And instead of thinking, like, I have to train or I have to look a certain way or I have to do all these things, I started thinking, man, like, I get to go do this. Like, this is the 1 or 2 hours a day that I get to actually take care of myself. I don't, like, nobody's needing anything from me. Like, this is purely Caitlin time. And I started thinking about it as, like, self care, to be honest, because it is. But it literally changed my entire approach to fitness, recovery, all the things. And, it was honestly, like, I felt stagnant in my fitness for the last few years. Just not really sure where to go after dealing with some sickness and, some illness. I just like wasn't really sure what my body could do. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to go because the things I wanted to do, my body could not tolerate anymore. And so it really took me stepping back, dropping my ego at the door, and realizing like even though my body's not doing 100% of the things that I want it to right now, I still get to go do something. I still have that part of me that is getting to go into the gym, push some weight around, have that community, and have the friendships inside the gym. And so that's a huge mindset shift, one that I encourage you to try to make as well. If you feel like you're struggling with your fitness, if you're frustrated by injury, if you feel like you've been sidelined, anything like that, like just focus on the positives with it. And I know, it kind of makes me want to puke too saying that, but it is so important to continue to have that relationship with fitness, no matter if you're struggling with, you're not happy with your performance, you feel like you're burnt out, or if you're dealing with pain or injury. It is so important to continually think, you know what, maybe I'm not at 100%, but my body's doing this, and that's freaking awesome. I get to go do this. So, most of the time, I see lifters burn out because they're treating lifting or training like an obligation. They focus on what they can't do, especially after injury, instead of what they can do. For me, when I messed up my knee, I felt like I lost everything. I was mad, I was frustrated, and I hated feeling weak. But then, as I went on, as I progressed in my rehab and was able to do all the things I wanted to do, y'all, I even wanted to run. And there was no part of me back then that ever wanted to run. Like, I was just itching to do something. But I realized going through this recovery process that the injury was actually an opportunity to rebuild smarter, to be appreciative of all the things that I took for granted before. It took me a long time to get to that point. But I actually grew to appreciate the injury in some weird way. Obviously, if I could have learned those lessons somehow else, I would have, but it did help me appreciate training that much more. And it allowed me to focus on like the things that were truly important to me. And honestly, that's just going in and moving freely, right? Not feeling like I'm confined, not feeling like I have these set of rules that I have to follow. And so, again, having that mindset shift of I get to train, there are three ways that change can impact training. One, you can stop making excuses. You want to show up because it feels less like a chore and more like a privilege to go. I don't know about you. There are days that I do not want to go to the gym. But when I feel appreciative that I get to go, suddenly it's so much easier to go to the gym. Second thing, if you stop focusing on the pain and start focusing on the progress, whoo, even rehab can become training and it can even become fun. Because, you might not be back to your 100%, but you are doing more than the version of you a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. You're doing more than that version of you was doing. And so focusing on the progress that you're making is hugely important. Number 3, you see setbacks as an opportunity, not a loss. I'm going to let that one sink in because that one might sing a little bit. But every injury, every plateau, anything like that, it can teach you something. You know, for me, again, like the knee stuff, it helped me appreciate, like, I wanted to be well-rounded. I wanted to be able to go, and if I wanted to run for whatever reason, like, I could. If I wanted to go squat, like, I could. It helped me realize that I wanted to be more well-rounded and not just, like, solely focused on one area. You know, dealing with some illness, it's helped me. It's probably been the biggest setback that I've had. But it's helped me just appreciate how precious, like, feeling good is, feeling strong, feeling confident in my body. And it's helped me to just appreciate lifting in a way that I honestly don't know that I ever have. It's, for me, like, I feel like lifting and training is truly life-giving, and it has so many protective effects for longevity and health and wellness that, honestly, like, it has completely changed the way I view exercise, the way that I even, like, program for my clients. And so, again, see the setbacks as an opportunity, not as a loss, because there's always something that you're going to learn from that. So, a couple things that we can do. If you're in pain, I want to know how you can train pain-free. Is it a variation? Is it throwing in tempos? Is it doing single arm, single leg work? What's that look like for you? Is it changing up the range of motion? How can you train pain-free in a way that's still going to make you move forward towards your goals? If you're plateauing, what's one area that you can improve? I know for me, my lateral delts and my hamstrings take forever to grow. So while I'm working on that, maybe I pick another body part that I can grow because, you know, I have to have a win in there somewhere. And if you're feeling unmotivated, maybe shift your focus to longevity instead of the short-term wins, right? You're delaying that short-term gratification for something that is so much more important and beautiful in the long run. So, how are you going to change your mindset in training? What can you do to still train pain-free? And if you need help, let me know. I got a bunch of resources I can send you on how to train pain-free. So, do all the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, drop a comment below. I'll see you on the next one.